In today's round, I'm playing at Manor Golf Club in Farmville, Virginia. Playing from the Blue Tees, which have a total of 6,675 yards. Wasn't really planning or schedule. I didn't schedule myself to play here. I just happened to be driving on a work trip and noticed it. And on my drive back home, I said, "Let me go ahead and stop and play." And I was honestly pleasantly surprised. Great layout, and I'm really happy with this course. And I'll review it a little bit at the end of the video. What's really cool at the entrance to the golf course, there was this manor house. I guess that's where I got the name. That's just sitting there abandoned, and I'd love to know the history of this because the house looks so cool. So if anybody knows anything about this, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. So this course is definitely not the easiest, most straightforward course. Hole one is a par four, but you have to hit over water on the second shot. And honestly, I didn't hit range balls, didn't putter, didn't chip. I literally got up on the tee and tried to hit it in the fairway, taking 3 wood and just trying to put something in play. And was pleasantly surprised with a really good shot right into the middle of the fairway. So for my second shot from the middle of the fairway, I had a 9 iron about 155 yards out, and I was thinking to myself, man, this is gonna be tough. Just stay down, hit through the ball. It's kind of the first iron I hit all day, and had to get over water. So with this shot, again, I was very happy with the result. Just kind of squeaked it onto the front edge of the green, and given that that literally was the second ball I hit that day, definitely take a green in regulation and a 2-putt par. So for this video, I added in this, I guess you want to call it like a running score on a scorecard. So I hope I like that. Now, to be honest, hole two, I didn't really know where to hit it, and to be honest, I don't know why I didn't pull my GPS out and take a look. But anyway, I definitely misaimed and mishit this shot, and there's a creek and it goes to the right out where those trees are, and that's where I hit it. So I couldn't find the ball, so I ended up hitting 3 from up in the fairway. But I'm going to blame the fact that I've never played this course on this. Even though I had a couple resources at my disposal, I didn't really think about it till it was too late. Even on this third shot, honestly, I thought the hole went around to the right, and that's kind of where the ball went. But luckily, there was a wide fairway to the right, and that's where I ended up. So one good thing about lateral water hazards is that this creek bed was just to the right of the fairway. So I literally was hitting 3 from the fairway, and now after that third shot, I'm hitting 4 into the screen with a wedge. So a good shot here. I'm thinking, all right, I can get up and down if I hit a good shot here, and well, let's see what happens. So just so you know, that tracer was a little bit off. The actual ball landed just to the right and past the pin a little bit. And so I had this putt to save par, which heck, after it's kind of feels like a birdie since I hit a ball in the water, but I was able to get up and down to save this par. So again, I'm thinking, all right, man, it's gonna be a good day. Things are coming together. So hole number 3 is honestly one of the more straightforward holes on the course. I got driver in my hand. I'm thinking, all right, we're doing all right. Let's just put something out there in the fairway and play and see what happens. But as far as things come together, they quickly fell apart. So when I hit that worm burner, I thought for sure that I'd find that ball up there near the rough, but I walked up, actually, I drove up there, looked around, couldn't find anything. So I had to drive all the way back and hit three from the tee. So unlike the last hole, this is now stroking distance. So instead of hitting three up somewhere in the fairway, I'm hitting three from the tee, which really it's not like throwing two strokes away. It's literally throwing two strokes away. Luckily, I hit this ball okay. Wasn't my best drive ever, but I did find the fairway. I'll tell you one thing I noticed on this course. If there's one thing that's true, is that there's not a lot of room for bailout anywhere. I mean, there's trouble in play on almost every shot, and this shot from the fairway on hole 3 is no exception. You can see there's some kind of cabbage, or I don't know if it's a water hazard that has to be cleared. I didn't hit this shot great, but luckily it made it to the green, and I was putting for bogey at that point.
It's 8-iron.
Although I had a bogey putt, definitely wasn't a makeable one. This is one where you just want to two putt and get out of there. So I did indeed two putt and had a double bogey on this hole.
Six.
So hole 4 is the first par 3 in the course. On the card it says 153 yards, and I don't know. I hit this shot okay. It just ended up to the left of the bunker, and to be honest, I wasn't too concerned about the little chip shot, even though I kind of short-sighted myself. But let's see what happens next. Now, in this chip or pitch or whatever you want to call it, I was thinking to myself, I'm sure I had a lob wedge in my hand. I said, just stay down on the ball and just pop it up in the air. And even though this green runs away, you can do the best you can do. I don't know what happened. Like I said, usually these kind of shots don't bother me, so I don't know what happened there, but it definitely kind of fell apart in this hole a little bit. And I think I overcompensated on this comebacker because I hit it a little too hard and went past the hole quite a bit and still didn't get up and down. I really thought I had a good shot at making this since I saw the chip go past. I mean, I'm literally right on the fringe. I don't know if this is 10, 12 feet, whatever it is. But I was a bit too aggressive and honestly had to work hard to get the comebacker after this. And so for the second straight hole in a row, I ended up with a double bogey.
Oh, double bogey. 5.
Hole 5's a pretty straightforward par four, 398 yards on the card, and I just had to shake off those two double bogeys in a row, hitting 3-wood here, and I really just want to try to put something in play. Anything in the fairway, decently hit. We'll have a short iron to the green, and I was able to hit a good 3-wood here and put it in a pretty good position. For the second shot, I had a 9-iron into the green, and usually this kind of shot's right, kind of in my comfort zone, and I was hoping for a solid shot up to the green, and I think the ball was a little bit above my feet, and while I hit it pretty solid, I definitely pulled it a little bit left, and wasn't able to get a green in regulation out of this one. But I was up by the green, and I'm thinking, all right, let me try to get up and down a safe par.
45 center.
This chip really isn't the easiest. I'm a little bit short-sighted. I might try to go for a high kind of, I don't know, flop shot here, but I was trying to just hit something that was more predictable. And unfortunately, just ran out and didn't really give myself a good look for par. So as I watched this putt on screen here, I could tell you that was a terrible read, terrible putt, and honestly, I was lucky to not to 3-putt that, because that was still a lot of work left to be done. I'll take my bogey and move along. So hole 6 is a par 5, 561 yards on the card, and I don't ever consider my driver kind of a strength of my game, but honestly, felt pretty good over this shot, and just wanted to put something in play. And as I mentioned in previous holes, I didn't really know the best position to hit this, but just wanted to try to hit something straight, and actually hit a really good drive here right in the middle of the fairway. On my second shot, though, there is a creek that fronts the green by a few yards. So at this point, I'm just trying to lay up with a 5-iron, maybe hit something about 200 yards into the fairway to give a reasonable wedge into the green.
5-iron. It said 109 middle, but the pin looks front, so I'm going to hit a 56. About a 90% one.
So I hit my layup second shot with a 5-iron right in a great position. I think I said here is 109 yards, so that's not really, it's a little longer than it says on the logo. And honestly, I'm chomping at the bit to hit this close. I'm thinking, all right, I got a sand wedge, perfect yardage, and I don't know why I do this so often. I feel like this is why I'll never really be a really good golfer. I just make too many of these stupid mistakes, and this chunkopotamus is no exception. And on the 4th shot here, I pretty much tell myself, all right, don't do that again, and overcompensate and go long. So even though I didn't give myself a really good chance at a par save, I was super happy with this par putt and pretty much had a tap in for bogey. And that's the way it goes when you hit a chunk shot.
Hey, 170 center, 7-iron.
Hole 7
Pins back.
is very straightforward par 3. It's 160 yards on the card. I think I was playing a little longer when I played it, but I just hit a terrible pull shot. You know, the thing is, one thing I'm a big believer in, even when you hit a bad shot, you really, really just got to let it go because there's nothing you can do about it at that point. And on this tee shot, I was actually happy to find that it didn't go in the cabbage to the left, and I had a shot. My backswing was a little kind of hindered by the weeds in the back, but I hit what I'd call a really, really good shot, and I gave myself at least a chance to save par.
I didn't have bad.
I do feel like that after such a good shot, I mean that wasn't easy, that you kind of got to make these par saves. It makes it all worth it. So, although I gave it a good shot, I did not make the par putt. Kind of a bad putt. Didn't really put a good swing on it. So for this next hole, hole 8, I'll be honest. I didn't really know where I wanted to hit this shot. I was looking left, but I knew it went a little bit to the right. So I'm going to blame just not knowing the course on what happens here. I didn't put a great swing on it. I wanted to hit a high draw, and I ended up hitting a push, kind of a push slice. I wasn't sure if there was water out there. I had a feeling there was, but I did hit a provisional just in case. But as you see in the next couple of shots, there were red stakes up there, and I had to hit 3 up, near where the drive landed, and then cross the penalty area. You know, the sucky part of the provisional is that it was actually farther right than the original shot. So luckily, there was red stakes.
Just for reference, there were red stakes down here. I mean, they fell over, but there's water, or dried up water. So I'm sitting up here about to the lateral.
So after the penalty, here I am hitting 3 from the rough here to the right, and I got to be honest, this actually turned out to be quite a good shot. Ball is below my feet, but I hit a solid shot, and while I didn't hit the green, I ended up right next to the green. So at least I gave myself a good shot for an up and down a safe bogey. So my thought process in these kind of long chips is to get it on the green as early as I can. So I pick a landing spot, try to hit it to that landing spot, and have it run out to the flag. I admit the chip looked a little strange, but it definitely turned out okay. Honestly, I just took my wedge up there and tapped it in as if it were a putt. So take a bogey on that. So hole 9, definitely a challenging hole to finish out the front 9. 428 yards on the card. As I look at this, I'm thinking, all right, just stay left because you don't want a shot to leak to the right like it did on number 8. However, again, due to my unfamiliarity with the course, I hit this too far to the left and almost ended up in the water. I actually was fortunate not to end up in the water, but I ended up on a hill that sloped down to the water and had the ball way above my feet for my second shot. Now what I was thinking in this case was, since the ball was above my feet, I should be able to sling it kind of around those trees because the green and the flag were basically behind the trees. And this is a shot I do have in my bag. I hit it solid, slung it around, and ended up just to the front right of the green in two. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to record those shots because I accidentally hit play or hit stop when I thought I was hitting play. So I apologize for that. But I ended up with a bogey because I messed up on the chip shots. So I kind of like how they start out the back nine here. It's 384-yard par 4 10th hole here. It's pretty well wide open. So I just grabbed a driver and let it rip. So for my second shot, I was looking at this and I really just not sure where the miss was. I really think golf is a game of misses, and to say, well, if I were to miss this shot, where would it be the place to miss it? I mean, I'm obviously not going at the flag. It's over the bunker. It's to the right part of the green. And if I were to miss right, that really would short side myself. So here I am trying to hit the center of the green, but pull my shot left, and I end up super far for my putt. I think I'm actually on the fringe, but I am using a putter, and hoping to get up and down and save par. So I don't know. I don't know what happened on that putt. That was an absolutely terrible putt. Probably made it maybe halfway to the hole. That really long putt. So here I am with a 20-plus footer to save par, which unfortunately I couldn't do. So although it's a two putt bogey, it was really more of a three putt because I was on the fringe. But I guess taking a bogey and moving on is there are worse things. Hole 11 is a beast of a hole, I'd say. It's 449-yard par 4. All I'm thinking at this point, just hit driver, keep it away from the trees to the right. And although I didn't hit this great, because I did not end up in the fairway, I was definitely in play, and at least gave myself a shot at the green in two. Now this second shot's not really that straightforward. I'm over 200 yards out, sitting in the rough, and I'm thinking just I'm pretty sure I have a four iron in my hands. I just want to hit this solid, get up near the green, and actually I put off a good shot here and put one on the green, even though it's quite a ways away. On this long hole, I'll take a long putt for birdie any day. So as you can see, this is a super long putt for birdie, and these are the kind of so far. You just want to get up and down. Two putt par here is amazing, and I'm just thinking just get a good lag putt and get out with your par. It's not bad on a 449-yard par 4.
All right, that was one. Got 146 middle, pins up. Got a 9-iron.
So here's a pretty straightforward par 3. It's only 142 yards on the card. Honestly, I'm probably hitting pitch wedge. I mean, the most 9-iron. And I don't know. I didn't play the par 3s well at all today. And here's another shot with a short iron that ends up left, and in this case, it ends up in the bunker. In this case, what made it a little bit worse is this bunker was kind of damp and wet, so I took a lob wedge so that it wouldn't bounce too much. And although I hit a okay shot, I wasn't able to get up and down. My putt coming back with nothing to write home about either. So when I hit that bunker shot, I hit it with a lob wedge, and since I hit it with that, I thought it would spin a little bit more and be closer to the hole, but obviously it didn't, and it rolled out a bit, and I got a little too aggressive with my par putt, and I missed the comebacker. So I feel like I kind of just threw one away here. I probably needed to take a little bit more time and look at this putt, and I guess that's what you get. Left it short by like half an inch, so I ended up with a double bogey. So hole 13 is a par 5, 549 yards. And I'm not going to lie, I looked at this and I had no idea where I should hit this drive. So I sort of played it safe and just hit it out to the right. Honestly, when I hit this, it really was a little bit too far to the right, and I didn't really have a good shot, a good second shot that I could go at the green. And if you see, my second shot is kind of more of a just a punch to get around the trees. I didn't have a good look at the green. I'm pretty sure I had a 4-iron here, and I was thinking to myself, I wanted to hit kind of a punch cut slice around the trees, but that's a tough one to commit to with like a full swing, given that there's trouble left. So if I do miss, it's gonna go straight and go right in the tree. So I sort of half swung it, and it did go left, and I was in the rough to the left. And for whatever reason, I feel like I do this every round too. Somehow, this third shot ended up being in slow-mo mode. So I couldn't do the tracer on this shot, but enjoy the slow motion. In my opinion, that's sort of a ugly swing. Head was moving around too much. Fell back. I mean, the ball was above my feet a little bit. Um, that's something I'm kind of working on as I go to different range sessions. But luckily, I hit the ball solid, and then it ended up near the green to give myself a chance for a chip and a putt par. So this chip is pretty straightforward. I just have a sand wedge, which is usually my go-to club when I have a basic chip, and all I try to do is pop it up on the green, land it on that kind of front edge, and let it roll out. It probably rolled out about 2 or 3 feet, and I just tapped it in with the leading edge of that wedge, and I was able to save par. At this point in the round, I'm actually feel like I'm hitting the ball mostly how I want, and it's going where I'm aiming it. So this next hole, it's a 412-yard par 4. I didn't think it would play as difficult as it did. I have a 4-iron here, and I'm just trying to hit a solid iron out into the middle because I had no idea what the play was here either. Again, I kind of had a disadvantage not knowing the course that well. When I hit this tee shot, I thought I'd maybe have 160, 170 into the green, but when I got out there, I was far. I was still far away. You can see the 150 up there in the distance. I was a good 220 yards, and I hit a hybrid. And honestly, I thought this shot was a pretty good shot. I ended up reaching the green and had another green in regulation, so I'll take it. So even though I hit the green and technically had a birdie putt, it was another super long putt. And unfortunately, this one had quite a bit of right to left break in it, and I didn't read it that well. I think I had a good speed, but my direction was a little off, and so I probably had a good 5-6 feet to save par. And unfortunately, I just missed that and had a legit 3-putt bogey.
Okay, it says 195 middle downhill, so I'm gonna hit a 6-iron. Just hit it hard.
Now, when I walked up to this next hole, which is number 15, it's par 3. It says 158 yards, but I think this is actually from the back tee, so we're talking more like 180 some, 90 some even. And this had intimidation written all over it. I had no idea what was up there. I just know I had hit something solid and don't hit it right. And I didn't mention this yet, but it was so hot today. This is humid and in the 90s, and by this point in the round, I'm just starting to get tired. And I was lucky to hit this one pretty solid and reach the green because the club definitely slipped when I was swinging on that shot. So, but yet again, here's another putt, pretty good distance. Not really a good look at birdie, but it's in a good 2-putt range. So I hit this putt pretty well. Had a tap in par, which I'll take any day of the week, especially on a hard hole like this. So hole 16 is one of those short par fours that every great golf course seems to have. To me, it's a great risk reward hole, and honestly, this is one of the best drives I hit all day. Hit it right where I was looking, hit it solid. It wasn't too high, which I have a tendency to do, and literally went right where I was aiming it. So, man, if I could do this all day long, me and Tiger Woods might be playing once in a while. So I'm sitting right in the middle of the fairway, less than 85 yards to the green, and I think I got a little tentative here. The shot wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. I did hit it straight and gave myself a chance at birdie, but it was a good 18 feet, I'd say. But honestly, I'll take it because again, I'm kind of playing kind of how I want it, and the ball was going where I was aiming it. And this is one of the first legitimate birdie putts, or one of the few legitimate birdie putts I had all day long. So while I gave myself a pretty good look at birdie, and honestly, the putt wasn't that poorly hit. I just couldn't convert it. But it was a good regulation hole, fairway in regulation, green in regulation, and 2-putt par. Take those all day long. Hole 17 is a par 4, pretty straightforward, just kind of clear. There's a little gully, dried riverbed, whatever you want to call it, stream bed that you have to clear. And I was playing a little bit safe and trying to hit it to the right. And unfortunately, while I hit it solid, it didn't come back as much as I thought it would, and it just barely leaked into that fairway bunker out there. And there's on this hole, there's also a creek or a gully that fronts the green, so I don't think it was wise to try to go for the green on this. So I'm just laying up, and I almost hit it too far. And luckily, I did end up in the fairway though, and had a short pitch in for my third shot. So for this third shot, I'm estimating about 65 yards. So usually I like these shots because I like it out of the fairway where I can spin it with a lob wedge. I couldn't get the tracer to follow this ball, so there's no tracer on this shot. But I didn't want to cut the corner too much and risk hitting the tree branches, so I went out to the right, and it went right a little bit long. So I'm above the hole and I'm putting downhill to try to save par. And it's just not in that range where it's kind of like an easy make. So I had to settle for a 2-putt bogey. But honestly, I'll take that on this hole, given how the tee shot went. I mean, as I said previously, a lot of these shots are going where I'm aiming them, and I'm hitting them the way I want to hit them. So I'm happy with that. Number 18, to me, looks like a great finishing hole. It's one of those good risk-reward holes where if you hit a good drive, you can go for the green and 2. If not, you just lay up and it's a 3-shotter. I think I was failing a little bit here, and I got a little anxious. Played this super safe and hit this tee shot way left, and I couldn't go for the green and 2. I mean, the good news, I did hit it solid, so I was down there a good ways. And honestly, I couldn't even hit a full shot to lay up. I really just took, pretty sure this was an 8-iron, and just tried to pitch something down into the fairway to give me a reasonable third shot into the green. And this, again, this pitch, or just, I don't know what you want to call it, like this kind of punch out shot, went right where I was aiming it, and went exactly how I wanted it to go, and ended up in the middle of the fairway. And I'm thinking right here, all right, get something up on the green, maybe finish with a birdie, and finish strong. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. Back to what I said earlier in the video, I seem to make just some stupid mistakes, and here's one. I don't know if I got too quick on it or didn't swing hard enough through the ball, but I just chunked one in the water. And as I look back, I probably should have gone up there and dropped closer to the water, but I was a little frustrated, to be honest, and hit my fifth shot with the same club and did what I should have did on the first time and hit it up on the green. I'm probably 20 feet or so for bogey at this point, and couldn't convert it, and had to settle for a 2-putt double bogey. Again, basically throwing 2 shots away on the hole with the chunk into the water. I will say that overall, I'm pretty happy with the round. It was a course I hadn't played before, and I ended up with an 88. I definitely played better on the back. Was definitely hitting the ball where I was aiming most of the time, and hitting mostly solid shots, minus the last hole there and one of the par 3s. So I have to give this course a lot of credit. It's a great layout. There's no kind of, I call them like back and forth holes where it's just down and back, down and back. Each hole is unique, and honestly, I feel like every hole was challenging, but challenging in a fair way. And if you're ever in Farmville, Virginia, I'd highly recommend this course. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if anybody has any information about the history of that manor house, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Please put it in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to making some new content. I'm actually thinking about reviewing a golf book I just recently read. So please stay tuned, and thanks for watching.